Hey guys, welcome to Copernicus Corner. I'm here in Watcher of Realms, and I've started some dailies, but I haven't gotten too terribly far into it. Today we have the Lost Legacy. It's a Oracle trial. Participate in Gear Raid 1 to win trophies and redeem rewards. We also have Brave Conquest, earn points by looting gear pieces and meteorites from Gear Raid and Artifact Material Raid, and win rewards as points hitting milestones. And then, as for things that are ending, Masterful Strokes is ending, and also Ancestral Legacy is ending. So Masterful Strokes is the one where you had like this panel of tiles, and you would choose which ones, I think, paint on the canvas and draw 3 flower tiles in a row to obtain a reward. So this was one like kind of tic-tac-toe kind of thing. You had to get 3 in a row somewhere. The Ancestral Legacy, let's see, it says explore to complete various random events and collect more Dragon's Gold to win luxurious rewards. We'll be going into that in just a moment and showing you. It's the one that's kind of like Monopoly. So I think that's all. Oh, yeah, right. Also, Canvas in Bloom, sorry. It says weave your dream chapters in the world of paintings, embark on a wondrous journey, and earn amazing rewards. Canvas in Bloom looks like this. It's the whole thing that encompasses Masterful Strokes, Treasure Hunt, Celebration, curated collection series bundles, and the 7-day sign-ins. All right, let's hop over to Wizard's Hoard and see where we're at. There we have obtained 20 gear pieces from Gear Raid. We got that, so we get 4 huge stamina potions for that. Claim guild boss rewards 5 times, and we get 1 rare summoning crystal for that. So that's not a bad thing to have. Looks like the Duel of the Champions is going to be starting in 2 hours and 7 minutes. That's the one where you fight in the arena and earn rewards from that. We've got Brave Conquest that has begun today, and that one is the one I mentioned earlier. You do the gear raids and the artifact material raids, and you earn rewards for that. So right now, we got 1 small stamina potion and 1 3-star psychic power token for that. Tales of the Smith is upcoming. That's going to be in 2 hours as well. That's the one where you enhance gear pieces and you get rewards for that. Spiritual Altar is summoning heroes and getting rewards. And of course we have Zombie Invasion that we'll do later on. So let's hop over. Let's see, there's a Mortal Codex that I think is finished, or maybe, yeah, it did finish. So if you have rewards to claim there, go ahead and do that before it disappears. Over in Ancestral Legacy, this is the one that I was mentioning is kind of like Monopoly, as I don't remember who it was, but somebody was comparing it to Monopoly in the chat the other day, and I think that's an accurate comparison. So there's a lot of similarities. You don't go to jail or any of that, but you can't collect on community chest, but there's a lot of similarities here. So let's check on the quests. We've got logging into the game today, which gives us 1 skeleton bones just for logging in. Spending 50 stamina gives us another skeleton bones. Clearing any stage 5 times gives us another skeleton bones. And obtaining 5 pieces of gear from Gear Raid gives us yet another skeleton bones. Now, perform 1 summon today will give us another skeleton bones, and I think we may as well get that done here in a little bit. Let me check and see if there's anything else I need to do first. We have some rewards to claim, or at least we have the 300,000k reward, which is 2 rare summoning crystals and 1 ancient summoning crystal. The ancient summoning crystal actually came from this 400,000k, and that's our server progress, not personal progress. So thanks to everybody on this server. We're making good progress through this, and there's only 1 more reward on this meter here, and that'll be when we hit 500,000 points, which is some ways away. And that's how many Dragon's Gold, we cumulatively obtain. Okay, so there we are with that. I think for now, we also do have the newbie gathering going on right now. So if you're new to the game, you want to sign up, be sure to use my code. I've posted it on Twitter and, X, and also on Facebook. And I posted it in this channel the other day. All right, now Speaking of such things, this weekend, starting tomorrow, we're gonna have a chance to get Beelzebub. Um, that's going to be one of these, possibly this. So we got Nazah and Beelzebub here. During the event, the designated hero will enjoy a 20 times drop rate, and so that's going to be, I think, for the regular, like the rare summoning crystals on those. If you haven't maxed out your Eadril Awakenings, this is also a good chance to do that. So if you need Eadril, or if you need Nazah or Beelzebub, keep that in mind. That starts in 2 hours. So there's also Emeret over here, and that is the lover of Anora. So if you need him, that's going to be happening with the Ancient Summonings this weekend, and that'll start on Saturday. Alright, now, what's going on with the Wizard Sword? We got 30 gear pieces from Gear Raid, which gives us 6 huge stamina potions. That's quite a few. Completing 20 event quests gives us 3 more of the rare summoning crystals. Okay, so that covers where we're at the moment. If you haven't redeemed all your stuff from the Starcoast Romance event, that also ends in a couple of hours. So be sure to get the redemptions in. I got mine in earlier, and I don't remember, maybe I did it yesterday. I don't recall exactly when I did it, but I went ahead and redeemed all but 100 of those pink blooms that I had earned. So, I think I did it last night. But anyway, if you haven't done it yet, be sure to get that done before this event goes away. Okay. We do have some things over here in the Oracle's Trial. We did the Mystery of Artifacts, and we ended up in 4th place on that. Unfortunately, I was really hoping for 3rd, but it looks like this Koba came along and just came out of the blue, knocked us out of 3rd place, and so therefore, unfortunately, we did not get those 5 Paintress's Brush Shards that I was trying to get, but oh well. I will claim the 120 stamina that are sitting there for 4th place. And then, on the Lost Legacy, we have something to claim there already as well. Looks like we ended up, so far, getting 100,000 XP potions and 200,000 gold coins from where we're at the moment, which we haven't made it very far along. That was at 350 points. Currently, we're at 480 points. There's a long ways to go. Alright, coming out of there, looking around for a second. I think we might have arena to do. We do have arena to do. Yes, let's refresh this. It says that I have 372,745 BP. That is not an accurate statement, because I haven't actually run it since I've gotten up to that amount. I think that team is maybe somewhere more around 315,000 at the moment on their BP. Not 100% sure, but I kind of think so. So, it's rather low, and I'll go ahead and try this Gozi at 363,878. So if we look at the teams, the first one is the one that claims to be 372,000, but is not. But I'll go ahead and try it anyway, and we'll see what it does. Yeah. Likely as not, I'm going to get slaughtered, but we'll see. Should be fun. I see that they have Yuri. That increases my odds of getting slaughtered. Zoom out. Come over here, and the first person they put down was, of course, Yuri. She has Needle of Torment, which is her ultimate, deals 5 hits of 75% damage per second to one enemy target in range. When a target dies during the skill, gain 5% rage and targets one other enemy near the fallen target. Then they've thrown out Brienne next. She has multi-shot, shoots 6 waves of arrows, each wave attacking up to 5 enemies and dealing 150% AoE damage. Airborne units take extra damage, so she's, she's not phenomenal, but she is nice. Then they have Hex. He's pretty high DPS most of the time. His ultimate is Mad Truth. When triggered, can't tell you because it lost. We lost rather. But I can tell you that it replaces the card in the deck with the Joker. I don't actually know what that means because I don't have Hex. I don't know what the Joker is, and I don't know what the deck is either. But here we are. We're guessing that that's a good thing. All right. for the stats on that, the highest damage was Yuri at 1,894,800, followed by Arrogance at 1,240,460. So, I could try doing a fight with it and then, no, I won't do that right now. We only have 2 out of 5 of the permits remaining, so I will simply hop out of there and head over, I think, to this shop where we have some rewards to claim. For our daily luck, we have gotten 20 diamonds, 40,000 gold coins, and 100 stamina. In the W Gold shop, we click on the W Gold shop at the top, and then the chest where it says free, and we get 10 diamonds for that, followed by the regular bundle. We're on the Spirit Invocation pack, and we got this first chest on the left, and we get 10 diamonds there. Now, I'm going to go ahead over, actually I'm going to go to Bo Root real quick, because he just refreshed. He could have had something amazing. He didn't, but he could have. And then I'm going to go to Summon, and do 1 summon of this Invocation of Spirits, just to satisfy those quests that are wanting that done. So we got Cutter, the 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. Cutter launches poison-laced daggers with ease, but downs boos with less grace than an ox. Alright, we got that. We're going to click on Perform 1 Summon, and that takes us here, where we will get 2 4-star second power shards for that. Let's see. We can go ahead and level up Heroes 3 times for this daily. And who do we want to level? Let's see. You know what? I can do Talon. That seems fine. That'll get her up to level 50 if I have enough. I do. It's great. Let's do it. Alright. So, got Talon up to level 50. Not too shabby. Come out of here, back over to quests again, and claim that for 1 stamina potion sample. You can go ahead and give these friendship points. No problem there. And then we can claim that reward for 10 friendship points, and it also unlocks the box at the top, which will give us another 35 diamonds. Claim the Tide Onslaught reward 1 time. Sure, I guess I can do that. I don't know that I want to do the Tide Onslaught right now, but I will claim the loot from it. I have once more logged in at an unfortunately late time of night, so kind of trying to move through some things a little bit. Yeah, and tomorrow I will have some Magic the Gathering to play in a tournament, store championship tournament tomorrow. So had to get my deck prepared for that tonight, and tomorrow I will give that a go, and we'll probably be on late then as well. I might be able to get in earlier too. We'll see. Certainly the tournament starts at 7 p.m. So I won't be in at that time. Okay, so for the Tide, we got 24 Legendary Skill Dust, 336 Talent Points, 46 Epic Skill Dust, 16,500 Gold, 65 Stamina, 92 Rare Skill Dust, and 2 Skeleton Guardian Demon Soldier Shards. Okay, cool. Get out of there. We're going to mark this background fight, which gives us 50,820 coins, 8,250 XP potions, a wide variety of gear, 260 Lost Legacy trophies, and 260 Brave Conquest points. Alright, so over to quests. Let's claim this 1 small stamina potion sample, rather. And that's all I need to do there right now. Later I'll try to get that black market paint. And then let's hop over to Ancestral Legacy, where we can go into the quests and claim this Perform 1 Summon today and get the scale from Bones as a result. That should be a randomly rolled die. So let's roll our random die and see what happens. Got an 8. Of note, somebody told me last time I was doing this that you can upgrade your locations, your facilities multiple times when you're on them. I had assumed you could only do it once. Unfortunately, I wish that I had known you could do it more than once. That would make a big difference. So we got 15 Dragon's Gold there. I think it must have been a Whimsy Words, or yeah, Whimsy Words. All right, let's roll again. See what we get here. Got a 5 that time. Goblin Gambit. A group of goblins invites you to a dangerous dice game. The wager is unknown. We can either refuse and prepare to fight, or accept the gambling challenge. Now, refusing and preparing to fight is the conservative choice, which is actually the better choice for me pretty much hands down. But because I want to explore all of the different storylines, and I don't think that I have done the radical choice on this one to accept the gambling challenge, I'm going to go ahead and do it, and we'll see what it says. Again, this is not the best option, but it's the one I'm going to take. You pick up the dice. The goblins reveal sly smiles. Uh-oh, they're cheaters. Now, if we roll between a 13 and 16, which is highly unlikely, we will win a treasure. And the treasure in question is going to be 300 Dragon's Gold. If we roll between an 8 and a 12, we lose gear. And the reward is 20 Dragon's Gold. And then if we roll between a 2 and a 7, we're cursed. And we still get 10 Dragon's Gold. I think it's interesting that even under the worst circumstances that are presented to us, we still gain gold for that. This is very strange. Alright, let's try our luck and see what happens. I have a good chance of getting a 2 to 7. But look at that, I got a 13. It happened. Wonderful. 300 Dragon's Gold it is. Amazing. Alright, so we got 300 Dragon's Gold. If we had been on the conservative choice and rolled the same number, then I would have gotten 100 Dragon's Gold for that. I think in the long run, it works out best to do the conservative choice if you're not lucky, and to do the radical one if you are. So, we obtained a total of 2,000 Dragon's Gold. We claim this 2 huge stamina potions for that. And then we have a few more rolls to do. So let's see where we get. We got a 2, and that's going to land us on this this facility here, which is Forbidden Sanctum. It says you will receive 4 Dragon's Gold each time you use bones. We don't have very many more of these to go because we're already pretty much at the end. I think this is the last day of this game. So there's not really any reason to get this at this point. If we had gotten it earlier, then that would be better. But at this point, the game is almost over, I think. So I'm going to just leave and not do that. And then we will roll on and see what happens. Got an 8 that time. I think that's going to take us to the next facility. You will receive 2 skeleton bones each time you enter Witch's Paradise. Upgrade effect would have let us receive 3 skeleton bones each time we enter Witch's Paradise. So the question is, do we spend 50 gold to try to, I guess it won't actually help because we've already gotten it. And so we're going to get the 2 skeleton bones. This is not going to get us around the map again, the board again rather. So we will simply leave that one as well, I think. And roll again. Hopefully I didn't mess that up, but well, if I did, I did. Let's see. Where are we going? I don't know what this is. Okay, Goblin Gambit. We did this one a little bit ago. A group of goblins invites you to a dangerous dice game. The wager is unknown. This is the one where we can refuse and prepare to fight, or we can accept the gambling challenge. So we're going to take the conservative choice this time. If we roll between a 10 and a 16, we gain protection and we get 100 Dragon's Gold. If we roll between a 4 and a 9, nothing happens, and we get 50 Dragon's Gold. And if we roll between a 2 and a 3, we're cursed, and we get 20 Dragon's Gold. So let's try it and see where we land on this chart. We got an 8, which means nothing happens, and we get 50 Dragon's Gold. For this one, if we had been on the radical version, then we would have gotten 20 Dragon's Gold. So we gained 30 Dragon's Gold here. Alright, roll again. Alright, we got a 7. That is I can't remember what it's called, but basically we're going to bet, and we can reveal cards. We're going to get 3 cards revealed, and we're going to get points accordingly and multiply that times 8 to find out how much we end up with. So we're betting 140. Reveal the cards. The horse is worth 30. We actually only got 1 card for this one, I suppose. Alright, so we spend 140, we get 240. It's not a bad deal there. And then we roll again. This is the last die that we have right now. It's going to take us to another facility. So we got 100 points for entering this rallying point. And again, no need to upgrade the things at this point because I believe this is the last day of it. So there we are. It would be funny if it wasn't, but I think it is. Yes, ends in 1 hour and 48 minutes. I think I had looked at this and okay, so there is one more way we could get a scale components today, and that's if we complete 2 individual quests of the guild today, which is very doable. May as well do it right now. We can make 5 guild donations, and we'll be there. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's make 5 guild donations, and that'll complete this quest right here, which will give us 20 guild coins, 20 guild activity tokens, and 1 small stamina potion. And then that means that we have an update over here in the Ancestral Legacy, and we'll get that last dragon, or scale component. Which means we got 1 more roll of the dice here. It's a 4. Alright, so we got 10 dragon gold for that. Very cool. Alright, moving out of there. We have a good amount of stamina at the moment, so let's go throw some of it at this Gear Raid 1 for the Lost Legacy Oracle Trial. Stage 18 is the last one that I've finished. Let's max this out. Start it. And it occurs to me too that I should come over to Bowroot and then go to the, not the guild shop, I want the arena shop to get this huge stamina potion. Alright, I think that's all I wanted there at the moment. Okay, that all looks a little bit better. I don't think I've checked the mine. Maybe I have? We get 1,750 gold coins, 1,500 XP potions, 4 stamina, 1 diamond, 1 arena or auto fight attempt, and 3 mithril. Let's claim that. And then we've got this running in the background. So I'm gonna go do the zombie invasion. Hopefully, you know, I'll get through that again fairly quickly. I think try to do kind of a quick run through. We do have a Brave Conquest thing to claim, and that is 20 diamonds. Then we come back over here and we're gonna go ahead down to the zombie invasion. So this is, as I've mentioned for the last few days, it's a fun one. When you spend a lot of time paying attention to it. But again, normally, okay, if I was going to give it a good go, I would put in the potion ones. There are things that increase your potions, and then go light and dark as the masteries of choice. As it is, I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're going to kind of fly through it a little bit again. I don't really ever fly through anything, but I'm going to go at a faster pace than I would if I was trying to concentrate on doing well at it. One of these days, I'll give it an hour-long process, but not today, because it is once more 12 in the morning. So, all right. I do have light here, so I am going to choose to try to go light and dark on this. If I if I see light, then or dark on the first choice, then I prefer to go light and dark. If I see like fire or ice rather, and I don't see light or dark on the board, then I'm going to probably go fire and ice whenever I'm doing it like this. It just is simpler that way. And then last night when I was doing it, I was so out of it that I ended up going like some terrible, distressing combination of, I think it was like fire, ice, and dark. It worked out okay, but certainly wasn't phenomenal. So could be better, could be worse, but I don't know. I think I want to say I made it up. It didn't make it up very high. I don't recall how high. And in fact, that may have been the day before last when I did that, and it may have been worse yesterday. I don't know. It's rough stuff. I'll tell you that right now. So whenever I'm not paying as much attention, then I try to get the things that give that I know will stack, as opposed to things that may not stack, because I'm not paying attention when I do this to whether somebody already, whether I've already chosen something or not. So it makes sense to get things that will stack, and that way it doesn't matter if I've already chosen it. And sometimes it's only part of the thing that stacks. So like when something says light damage plus some amount, that's going to improve the light damage of both the blazing bolt and the lightning chain. But and it will stack, because when you get the pluses, those things definitely are stacking. There may be another part of it though, like here that says light damage plus 10%, but it also says blazing bolt deals an extra damage equal to 30% gold. So that part won't stack, but the light damage plus 10% would. Then we have over here Chain Blade 2, basic attack has a chance to summon one tornado. That certainly does not stack, but the damage plus 20% does. And that's damage, overall damage plus 20%. So I'll take that over the other one. That said summons one extra tornado. Extra means that stacks, right? So that's kind of how I have been doing this. Just kind of scan and look for keywords. And you want things like expands, increases, plus, stuff like that will definitely be stacking up. So if you're doing it just kind of quickly, then it makes sense to choose words that are going to stack. And of course, I say that I'm doing this the quicker way. You got to understand that I am slow. So for me, this is quicker. If I was doing it the slow way, it would take me, like I said, like an hour to do a zombie invasion. So results may vary. And for those who haven't, this is another thing that stacks. If it says ultimate effect duration plus some amount, those are going to stack too. So keep that in mind. But I was saying, for those who haven't done this before, on the upper left-hand corner, you'll see some little symbols. And you'll see like some swords and some flames and things like that. And those numbers that correspond with that are designating your your mastery points in those areas, in those skills. And that was the wrong one. But anyway, when you hit, multiples of 5, then you get awakenings, is what they're called. And basically they're big skills, massive, whether it's damage or whatever it is, it's going to be very helpful things for that mastery. Also, anything that decreases the cooldown will also stack up to obviously the amount of whatever the cooldown is. Can't decrease it to less than 0, Alright, so for those who are keeping track, we're on wave 18 at the moment. And doing kind of okay. Not doing great, but kind of okay. The guys are starting to encroach upon the fence here. They haven't actually made it to the fence. Now that one just made it. It's not looking great, but it could be worse. That's kind of where we're at right now. Normally when they start to stack up on the fence, that means you're about done for. And whenever I do this the quick way, without really paying a lot of attention, I don't necessarily expect to make it above 20 to 25. Somewhere in there is normally the extent of how that's going to go. Not always, but a lot of times it is. So, like I said, I don't exactly recommend doing it this way. It's just if you want to give it a go, but you don't have a long time, then, it's not the worst thing to do. And that'll be the end of that. Alright, so we made it to wave 23 that way. And the stats show that Spring of Sticks did 52% of the damage, Tornado did 21%, Lightning Chain did 16%, and Blazing Bolt did 9%. Normally, Blazing Bolt does a lot better than that on the damage. Normally, I would say Blazing Bolt and Spring of Sticks are at the top, and then Lightning Chain and Tornado kind of act as support for me most of the time. It's not the way it turned out that time. But again, using not the best strategy necessarily for choosing these got us what it got us, right? Okay, so for challenging this one time daily during the event, we have gotten 10 auto fight attempts. There we are. And I'm gonna head over to the Oracle's Trial and see what we have here. It has 20 diamonds. Those will come in handy for the summonings this weekend, I think. Okay. Everything seems to be going fairly smoothly out here. Let's head into the arena. And what do I want to do? I could try to put down a defense team with the new, the newer stats that I have here, the 372. So actually, I had said that my anti-air was around 315. It looks like that is accurate. But that's for that team there. So I had done it differently at one point using a Nora for one of the teams. I can probably redo that. And whether it'll be better or worse, I don't know. But let's try it. See if I can think of kind of how I did it. I think previously, I had put out Arrogance and then Dao Chan for sure. Alright, so we're on 2 times speed at the moment. Once this gets a little bit closer, I'll drop it down to 1, and then we'll put out Arrogance. So we're going to put him out here, then we're going to put out Dao Chen next. And she's going to be on the corner. And let's see, last time I had put her on this corner. Is that a good idea? Yes, I think that's a fine place. And then we can put Setram top left, which is where I had him previously. Now in the air fight, we're not getting hit by anything. So it's not important to worry about the healing at all. So I stuck Dao Chan down and then immediately put her into DPS mode. Next one I want out is Setram. So we spread that up to 2 times until it got close to being able to get Setram out, because every second kind of counts here. And I think next I had done Sulkden's above Dao Chan. I don't want this as my defense team. I actually want this as my offense team 1. Also, I failed to use Setram's ability because I'm a fool. Should have used it as soon as it was ready. Not sure how long it had been sitting there waiting on me, but it bodes ill, I can say that. Should certainly have been paying more attention to that. But alas, here we are. Okay, so now Nora I had previously put here. And was that the best place? You know what? I don't think so. I think she would perhaps do better here, facing up. Does it matter? Who knows? She was there facing, yeah, I mean, I think it might. Now, Setram has a little bit of a delay on his ultimate. When you click it and, you double click, it takes it a second to get ready. But once it does, it's really a very, very excellent skill. Does big damage fast. So we're on wave 5 at the moment, and at 85.8% where the base is concerned. Probably could have been a little bit better off had I clicked the ultimate on Setram a little bit sooner the first time. But, it is what it is, I suppose. In a lot of ways, this is kind of more of a sprint than a marathon. soon as we get into range, I want to use Sulkden's thing and kind of concentrate the fire as much as possible. So this is wave 6 and down to 75% of the base at the moment, which is kind of low, I feel, for where we're at. Probably could have done better. Kind of slow going here. Gonna go ahead and use Setchum's ultimate in spite of the fact that, it feels like there were only 2 left, but we certainly do need to burn them down. Again, the goal is to win faster than your opponent does. You kill the guys a little bit quicker than they do, and that's kind of the key here. My other 2 iterations of this, I'm using Kai in place of Anora, and it's not for Kai's damage. It's because he boosts the marksman's damage, which in this case the marksman is Setchum, and Setchum does pretty well on the DPS, and with the boost from Kai, it's very good. And he's also, of course, getting a boost from Sulkden's. Not sure why that didn't go off the first time that I clicked it. And then, of course, there's the boost from Dao Chan as well. She gives a bit of a DPS boost when she's in that mode, which is Song of Sorrow, I believe, is the name of that. Wait for these guys to kind of pile up for a second, and then I'm going to use Anora's ultimate. So this is wave 8 of 9, and likely the one where we will be defeated. Try to get off a couple more ultimates first, though, if possible. I want to do Sulkden's, followed by Setchum's. %2 at the moment. Unfortunately, Setchum's did not go off the first time yet again. It's too bad. Alright, so we completed that, and I want it for my anti-air DPS to 1. And then let's look at the stats here. So Arrogance did 17,549,200 damage. Setchum did 12,633,300 damage. Sulkden's was next with 9,767,060 damage. And then Anora came in with 4,332,020 damage. Alright, let's see. That should have updated the numbers here. And now the 372,745 ought to be accurate. So we're going to come over here and look at this Gozy guy and see if we can beat him with that team. Who knows? Maybe we can, maybe we can't. Last time we tried it, we were not able to, so try again. They came out first with Yuri, I believe, then Brienne, then Hex, which is an interesting choice. I think it's because they were trying to do as much damage as possible in the first little bit and hopefully defeat the opponent before they get very far. So first we have Yuri with Needle of Torment. She does such good damage. It deals 5 hits of 75% damage per second to one enemy target in range. When the target dies during the skill, gains 5% rage and targets one other enemy near the fallen target. They put out Brienne next. Brienne has multi-shots, shoots 6 waves of arrows, each wave attacking up to 5 enemies and dealing 150% AoE damage. Airborne units take extra damage. Man, I don't even think we got any further than we did the time before. How entertaining. So that was Gozy with 363,878 BP. And top damage was Yuri with 1,893,710. And that's crazy because nobody else other than Arrogance did anything at all. So just the first people that we put out is all we got through. That was crazy. You know, Yuri is insane. Very cool. Alright, we go back over here, and then, let's see, the other one I would be interested in going up against would be Skeezer. Skeezer has 365,878 BP, and we'll try with this team on that. Alright, first and foremost, they put out Rune Hollow. That's one of the new guys. He has Bone Volley, loads up to 20 Twin Strike Bolt during basic attacks, increases damage of each Twin Strike Bolt fired by 85%. Ends invisibility 10 seconds after activating ultimate if Twin Strike Bolt still remains, and enters invisibility again when all Twin Strike Bolts are exhausted. Now they followed that fella up with Eovar. Eovar is very good. Consumes all flying swords and activates the flying sword formation to continuously deal 35% damage to the enemy with the lowest HP in range. And we were defeated, so I can't read the rest of that yet. So that was Skeezer with 365,878 BP. Topping the DPS, or topping the damage at least, was Rune Hollow with 1,620,470 BP. Followed by Arrogance with 1,346,120 damage. I may have said BP, but I meant damage. Alright, there we are. And we got 3 arena coins for that. Okay, we've used up all the arena permits, so out we go. Let's collect these background fight rewards. We got 60,060 coins. 9,750 XP potions, a myriad of gear items, 1 Arcanum crystal, and 340 Lost Legacy trophies, and 340 Brave Conquest points. Click OK here. We do have one more we can do, it looks like what we have right there. Although I could probably just consume a huge stamina potion in a moment. But let's go to Brave Conquest and see what we have. It's 50,000 gold. I think that's all, yeah. And so, now, let us head over to the Oracle's Trial, go to the Gear Raid 1, and I'm going to click Go, click on Stage 18, and then, yeah, let's do the auto fight, and put it on some strange number, and we'll go ahead and consume, let's consume 3 of these huge stamina potions here, giving us 600 stamina, and then think I'll come out and do these 10 quick clears real quick. And then we'll run the rest as auto fights. Because we get 10 quick clears a day, and those reset, it's a use them or lose them situation. The other ones that we get from doing quests and things do stack up, but the 10 per day reset every day. So for those 10 quick clears, we got 220 Lost Legacy trophies, 220 Brave Conquest points, 46,200 gold, 7,560 XP potions, and a variety of gear. Now we'll start these auto fights. We've got those 18 times. And probably changed it didn't even change our ranking yet on the Lost Legacy Oracle trial. Almost though. And we're 310 away. Or no, sorry, 280 away from 7th place. It'll be a little bit trickier getting up to 6th, but it's very doable. And probably more importantly, on the meter down at the bottom, we're almost at the 2 legendary skill crystal shards mark, which would be cool. Now, while we wait on that, let's head over to the guild window and let's just run these auto attacks on Nightmare 3 and Nightmare 2. Looks like somebody's already hit them. Bugajoa attacked Nightmare 3 once. And how about Nightmare 2? Where we at? Yep, Bugajoa attacked Nightmare 2 once. So, let's see here. What ought I to do? Let's first auto fight Nightmare 2 and see where we're at. Do we try to kill Nightmare 2 or do we go ahead and I think we're probably just going to hit Nightmare 1 or Nightmare 4 rather. Nightmare 3? Man. It's tough. When you're me. Alright, so this was my auto fight for, Nightmare 2? I think that's the one I'm on right now. It's interesting always to watch the statistics and see what's going on here. Xena, I put her over in this area to the upper right because I don't really want her having healing. It's easier to deal with her if she gets killed naturally, and so I put her outside of the healing range. So that she would get killed, and then I can just simply replace her and then put her out later. It's not as efficient as if I picked her up myself at the basically 25-second mark. She does her damage in a burst right at the beginning, in the first 25 seconds. You can pick her up at that point, and she actually gets a boost to her damage the next time she's deployed, every time that happens. So it is a good thing to pick her up and put her down as much as possible. I just find that I get busy doing other things and I don't remember to pick her up when I should. So if I can stick her where she doesn't get healing, a lot of times that's helpful. And when I hear the sound of her getting killed, then I'll throw somebody else out to do the damage while her cost regenerates. Alright, so we ended up getting 10,287 dragon blood out of that. Stats show that Arrogance is at the top with 26,829,000, followed by Sulkden's actually at 22,630,000, and then Setrum at 15,456,000, and then it drops off by about 3,000 per tick there for a while after that. Alright, so let's complete this. And it had been at 6, well, let's see exactly what it's at. 67% is what it was at, and it went down to 18%. So, we could kill off this dragon, and then we would get 2 chests here, and also Bugajoa would get 2 chests here, plus you would also get the one in Nightmare 3. So he would end up with 3 chests, which might be a better idea in, for the purposes of getting better goods for the guild. However, it would be 2 of these kind of chests. And I don't know that that's going to help him terribly, terribly much to get 2 of those. And it may help me to get more of these Nightmare 3 chests, depending on how I do. Let's see how the auto fight does here on Nightmare 3. And I think that I made this one a couple of days ago, I believe. So hopefully it will reflect kind of the current numbers. So right now we've got Xena at the top. She's going to quickly be overtaken, of course. Solkadens is now even him and Arrogance are jockeying for position. I find that Solkadens takes a little bit of time to get up to speed. Arrogance is solid. He does just solid DPS throughout, but Solkadens, he seems to kind of gains over time. And Cetrum is very solid DPS as well. Xena's been back in play for a minute, so you notice that she's climbed back up, I should say, to 4th place on the damage on the leaderboard. Edrin does very well, and you can't see it as much because of all these other high damage dealers that I have in this group. But Edrin is doing quite well, all things considered. I find that he's very good DPS. He's very good, DPS against single targets or against multiple targets. And he also stays alive very well. I'm going to say that Edrin stays alive much better than Arrogance does. So that got us 6,500, over 6,500. It got us 10,054 Dragon Blood, but it met the mark of the 6,500. Okay, so looking at the damage charts, Arrogance topped it at 22,758,000, followed by Sulfidens at 20,439,000, and then it drops down to Cetrum at 15,552,000, and then on down from there. Let's complete this and see where we're at on this dragon. Went from 88% down to 70%, so we did 18.28% of the dragon's health. And that's all right. It's not too bad. All right. Going to get out of there, go to guild quests, and claim these 20 guild coins, 20 guild activity tokens, and 5,000 gold. Over in the Oracle's trial, we have something to claim as well. It is those 2 legendary skill crystal shards that I mentioned earlier. Now, if we can get up to 1,850, then we'll get this Paintress's brush shard, which will be phenomenal because there are 5 of those, which is exactly how many we need, so that we can go to this event over here, which is called the Shard Assembly, and we'll be able to assemble Rosalia's exclusive artifact, which is brush. We have Rosalia up to level 50 right now. So, I could either star her up, or I could star Talon up at this point. And either one of those would be very useful, I think. Haven't had a lot of chance to try out Talon yet, but I have high hopes for her, and I have some marksman levels that would appreciate her input. So that's something to consider for sure. Checking to see which of my guys actually needs more skill ups. Definitely getting an interesting pile of legendaries at this point. They're looking pretty good. Not sad about them. Okay. Events, we have Brave Conquest giving us a huge stamina potion. Might need to use that later on, but not yet. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to get done. I don't really know that there is right now. There's stuff that I could get done, but it's also 12:50 a.m. So let's check on the arena. We don't have any more arena permits, of course. Okay, so it's actually 53 minutes before we'll be able to get another one. That's unfortunate. And we'll check the mine again real fast just to see if we have any arena permits. We don't. We have 1,300 gold, 700 XP potions, 7 stamina, 1 diamond, and 2 mithril. Now I want to look at the events tab again. See if there's anything like this Brave Conquest is happening right now, but the Corridor of Glory is the one for leveling up, starting up, promoting, and upgrading hero skills. We're not too far away from getting the 5 matrices burst shards on that. But 3,633 points with 6,800 to be able to get that. So a little less than twice as much as what we currently have. But we have another 4 days to do that, so it's not as terrible as it may otherwise seem. So, cool. I think that I will not worry terribly about that yet. And let's see, today is, well, it's technically Friday at this point, but Thursday is what I'm thinking like, if that makes sense. So I don't see anything that's necessary to do right now in that regard. We had another 5 minutes on the Harbor Master, so between that and the background fights running, I think I will go to the storyline and maybe do a couple of stages real quick over this H7-1 and then maybe 7-2. Who knows? Maybe not. Let's see. Fear with no hero killed. Clear with the soul core intact. Alright, so we're defending 1 soul shard portal down there. We've got 6 platforms, it looks like, and who knows how many melee tiles. They have Raging Mutant Rodents, Barren Salems, Mist Skeletal Soldiers, and Mist Superior Abyssal Beholders, meaning that we won't be able to see the Superior or the Mist guys until they either hit like a blocker or else they, well, I mean, there's no eyes in this one. If there were eyes on the ground, then we would see them sooner. But as it is, alas, alack, that is not the way. So let's see. We'll go ahead and keep whatever this compilation is here. Shouldn't really be an issue because we have a good number of BP more than necessary. I think I will stick Arrogance here. And then, why not? Dao Chen can go here and like so. And I'll put Idrin next in front of him. And then we can get Setram out, and I think I'll face him back toward the east. Maybe not. Maybe I should just put him here. I don't think it matters terribly. I was going to put him over here and face him this way, and I think I'm just going to do that. Perfectly fine. some of these guys aren't going to be seen until they run into somebody, and that somebody is going to be Edrin. I don't know that Edril is going to be as helpful because they're not going to be seen until they run into somebody. But I'll stick her out anyway. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, I think. Gotta blow up anybody who's ready, because honestly, make it go a little bit quicker there. Alright. So, we got a victory on that. Got 25 diamonds, 470 XP, potions, and 630 gold coins there. Complete that. Starting up a hero requires heroes with the same star level, which can get fairly confusing fairly quickly. Let's go out of here because I think we need to go. Oh, we have another 40 seconds on that before I need to do it. In that case, what shall I do? Well, let's go see about promoting somebody. Maybe. I almost feel like going ahead and starting somebody up, really. We've got Leia, we've got Rosalie, we've got Aelin. I don't really care to mess with Morgan too much. She's fairly unimpressive. Just don't know much about Talon. I don't know much about Rosalie either. I mean, I can read what it says, but I haven't tested her out at all. Neither of them. What I have to work with is what I've read here, and also the fact that Rosalia is a fighter, and Talon is a marksman who can also be a ground unit. It's kind of cool to be able to do either one on the ground or on a platform. It makes her a little bit more versatile. That said, I want to try out Rosalia. And that's a temptation. I wonder if I do both. I wonder how many I actually have right now. Nope, can't do both. Do one or the other. It's a troublesome thing that I already have a lot of ground units who do decently. So maybe I better try doing Talon. I have garbage marksman. For the most part, not entirely. Like Cetrum's a marksman, he's really good. But I have a lot of very bad marksmen. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's level Talon up. Sure. Okay, that increased all of her stats by like 10%. And then we will see how far we can get her up from there. That took her to 55. Not too bad. Alright. She still has plenty of skills that could be upgraded, but I don't really want to use my one legendary skill crystal on it, so I'm not going to. How about that? How about them apples on? Over here, we have a volcanic salt, 30 flame broiled beef, and 30 blazing chilies. Let's go have a look at the cook. Look at the cook, and then... So it looks like we need more of this golden birch sap, because I did find out, folks, that in addition to being below the recipes here, you can also see how many of each of the items you have at the top above the recipes. I had been using this at the bottom and just kind of, clicking the plus button until I hit something that I couldn't make. in which, would have been only once this time, but sometimes it's a lot more. And this way, seeing at the top what I have, I don't actually have to do that. So, there we go. Little note to consider. Now what we need is birch sap, so let's set sail for those, for that port over there. I don't know if I've done all of the faction stuff today. I think I have. But let's make sure. Yeah, I have 0 of both of those. Excellent. Alright, now what? I'm sure I was just doing something that was of utmost importance to me, but I don't know what it was. Here's Bo Root, and he has refreshed. So let's check him out. Nothing exciting. We have 3 refreshes a day, so let's refresh once. Then a second time, because no crystals showing themselves there. And then we're going to refresh again. Well, it's not lovely. Let's go ahead and pay 500 to refresh. And then another 500. Then 1,000. Not looking great. I wonder if I've skipped something. Who knows? Possibly there was something amazing in these refreshes that I failed to see. It's not looking good over here. Well, alright. That's where we're at, apparently. That's a shame. In order to refresh again, I would have to use 5 diamonds, and I don't really feel like that. So, instead, I think we'll pick up Gale over here for 750 coins. 25% off, after all. And we're going to then be able to come over here and claim this 10,000 coins for making a purchase in the black market of the Dwarven Association today. Alright, out of there, and we've got something in the Gold Dragon Pass for doing the same thing, and that's 200 Gold Dragon tokens. We've also finished the background fights, giving us 87,780 coins, 13,500 XP potions, a variety of gear, 400 Lost Legacy trophies, 400 Brave Conquest points, and 10 of these Garnet Guard Demon Soldier shards, which is neat. And that brings us up to, let's see, we've got 1,540 of these trophies. Still a good bit of ways to go before we can hit this Paintress's Brush shard. But we're inching closer, Still some time to go there. Okay, we don't really have any stamina left for the job, so I suppose we could go ahead and call it a night here. Hopefully I didn't miss doing anything important. That'd be a shame. But yeah, I think I will. It has been a pleasure streaming with all of you as always. And hopefully I'll be able to see you next time I go live. Be sure to follow me so that you can turn on notifications and see when that happens. And hopefully I will see you all then. For now, have a good night.